All right, it's Pipes Drums, and we are delighted to be with Jamie Forrester and Nick Hudson, the two newly minted Highland Society of London Gold Medalists. Jamie's won at the Argyllshire Gathering at Oban, and Nick has, of course, won at the Northern Meeting in Inverness. And thanks very much, guys, for taking the time today. And first of all, congratulations. Nick, how does it feel to be a gold medalist?
Pretty crazy. I mean, obviously it's a huge honor, right? But it's not like my life has changed. There's no big seismic differences. I was like, sort of think I'm the same player I was, you know, the day before I won the medal as after. Unfortunately, the medal hasn't given me any extra abilities as a player yet. But obviously, I feel pretty grateful. I mean, especially like the moment when I found out, just to teachers, family, just even the school where I work at, like just the support of people in my life that enabled me to be able to have
Yeah.
that chance. Yeah.
And Jamie, what about you? You, like Nick, have played in it several times leading up to it. Uh, Big thing for you as well.
Yeah, huge thing and a massive honor, as Nick says. For the past year, you just kind of you get out there, you put the tunes up, you do the best you can, and then suddenly the results start falling into place. And there are some results you win, and you're like, oh, that's nice to win that. And then there are others when you see your name at the top of the list, and oh, that's different. But just certainly my first reaction.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Got to think, a lot of pipers playing it for a lot of times. Was it Jamie as much a relief to win it as it was a thrill?
I wouldn't say a relief, no. I don't think you can expect to win a gold medal. So therefore, it's never a sense of relief, and it's very subjective at the same time. So you could think you play brilliantly, and the judges will think completely differently. So it's a great feeling. It's an honor. It's slight bewilderment, but yeah. Otherwise, it's just it's a privilege. It's not a relief.
And what do you think, Nick? Along the same lines?
I mean, I agree, and I do feel a little bit of relief in the sense of, as a player, like going over to Scotland, having to build a track record, even with results, like maybe it's the pessimist in me, but like, I got a prize the last time there was a gold medal in 2019. But then, did well at London, but I'm thinking, oh, that was 3 years ago. Like, am I going to be out of it? I'm always thinking, oh, I'm going to get kicked out, right? So for me, there's an element of like this treadmill that you're on, where like obviously I still have to learn the gold medal tunes for next year, but there's a little bit of pressure lifted as far as just kind of being able to get into the contest and stuff, which that is a nice aspect, a nice relief.
That's
But
that's the one sense I did feel actually was there's a neediness that goes away when you win a gold medal, which is it's not relief, but it's everyone's trying to do it, and while you're trying to do it, you're still worried about entry, worried about this, that, the next thing, and then you win a gold medal, and you kind of that's your name on a history book. It can't be taken away, which I appreciate many people are not fortunate enough to get. But once you have done it, then the neediness is maybe just moves on. There's another gold medal to win.
Neediness, yeah. Okay, so a lot of people, pipers out there watching you guys, feeling good about what you've done. But give us a sense, Nick, of what kind of commitment is involved with playing to that kind of ability.
I mean, it's tough to say. I think like a lot of it is for me, it's like experience, like just getting out and doing it. This was my fourth year playing in the gold medal, so just like the experience of getting on that stage helped me manage the stress. Like the first time I got out there 4 years ago, it was like sheer panic. But like I've been lucky to have great instruction, which is just really huge, huge for like helping you learn the tunes, but just like kind of regular inspiration and stuff. At the same time, I always feel like I could be more prepared. You know what I mean? You've got like sort of limited time and resources that you can put into it. uh, but there's always that feeling, oh, I could do more, I could put more in. But I think for me, like just being sort of regular and persistent with it, showing up and like every year or whatever, that is, I guess, more realistic than trying to burn myself out with like doubling my practice time or something like that.
Hmm. And Jamie, what kind of commitment were you putting into it over the years?
I didn't realize this when I won it, but everyone said I've been very consistent over a number of years. I didn't think I'd been anywhere close to winning a gold medal, but I think that kind of tells a story that you just got to keep at it, doing the same thing at the same level, long enough, and you get the experience of what good sounds like, how to deal with the mental stress. The practice regime's a bit different for me because I'm not a full-time piper, so I have to kind of cram it in between work, between family. But so long as I'm getting a tune in every day or couple of days, depending on how close it is to the contest, and I'm continuing to bash them out at a consistent, decent standard on a good instrument, then the rest is up to someone else.
Hmm.
There's a bit of pressure on the stage, and I did a bit of reading and training of how to deal with that pressure. But ultimately, if you can just replicate the practice, which you're doing regularly and enough on the big stage, ultimately it's someone else's decision from there on.
Yeah, and what about like when you both were performing, delivering what the performance that would ultimately win the prize? Were you thinking, Jamie, at the time, like, hey, this is going really well, or was it just like, I'm playing to my ability kind of thing?
If I ever think it's going really well, I remind myself of the number of lines I've got left to play. Because that's the time you go off it. No, it's back to the same thing. Sometimes you do feel it's going well, and actually that prompt of what's left to go can help because it refocuses on that bit of technique that's not you're a bit more worried about than the rest, or that part of the stage where the sound is a bit off, or this part of music that you've always sort of struggled with and only recently got into your head. And certainly when playing in front of judges, that's a continuous sense in my mind of just what's next, keep focused. And fortunately, I've got to the stage now, I've been long enough in the tooth to not have to remind myself to stay focused as much. I just am a bit more focused.
Yeah, and Nick, you drew or you had selected for you the Lament for the Laird of Annapool, one notoriously difficult tune. Were you pleased about that, or was it like, oh kind of thing?
Yeah, I was actually quite happy about that just because I was happy with my bagpipe. Like my high G was going well that week. So, that playing a tune like that, if the high G is good, is a lot of fun. If the high G is a little shaky, it's misery. So yeah, I was quite happy to get that tune in the tuning room.
Good stuff. And what about luck? I mean, did you feel that okay, everything's got to come together, and you got the luck of the draw, the luck of the where you play in the order of play, luck of the bench, the judges. Nick, did you think luck plays into this?
I mean, if we define luck as like factors largely beyond our control, then like for sure, right? You have to have three people that like your rendition of the tune. Like they're picking one tune out of eight, and not all tunes are equal. Like the temperature changes through the day. Does your reed decide to die like the day before the contest or a week after? Whatever. So like Jamie was saying, it's like good preparation, having a stable instrument that kind of like gets you in the conversation. And like the way I think about it is like if I play a tune like how I was taught it, how I want to play it, and the bagpipe's good in tune or whatever, and fingers are going all right, then I've bought like a lottery ticket, you know, and maybe I hit the jackpot, maybe I get nothing. But if I don't do one of those things, don't put the tune across musically, or miss a lot of stuff, pipe goes out, whatever, I'm not even in the conversation. I haven't bought that lottery ticket. So that's sort of how I think about it. I never sort of feel like I'm guaranteed a prize if I play well, because in a big contest like the gold medal, you could play well for a few years and maybe get the odd prize, maybe get nothing. But like Jamie was saying, he's been playing consistently well for so long. really just the same performance with a different panel. You never know.
Hmm.
He wouldn't have won it a few years earlier.
Yeah, and Jamie, luck on your side? Are you a believer in that?
Similar to Nick, there's so many factors outside your control. The best you can do is try and manage the risks of any of them occurring on the day. So make sure you've got a good bagpipe that's very stable, doesn't react too much to temperature. Make sure you got another reed going in case it decides to die the week before. Make sure all the tunes are going well. I've been really fortunate. I think I've picked up first prizes of 5 first prizes in the past year with 5 different tunes. So you just gotta be able to bash these things out and put yourself in the mix, and then it's down to someone else.
Yeah, interesting comments. All right, why don't we wrap up this part here, and we'll talk about what's coming up in the future, namely the Big G, the Glenfiddich, coming up in just about a month. So let's stay tuned for that.